Hey YouTube, Kira Twig here, bringing you all an update to my Rokket Yugioh deck profile for Posts Ghost from the Past, the second haunting. With the newest Ghost from the Past, we were finally given the release for the TCG of Boral and Dragon, the Link 5 monster for the Rokket deck. It really is the boss monster of boss monsters for this deck, so finally glad that we got this monster to use in the deck. If you don't know, the Rokket deck focuses on just destroying your own rockets to gain additional card effects. I wanted to go for the pure Rokket deck, or as much as I could, to make it fully focused on the Rokket face, play style, and also using all the different Boral monsters along with Boral and Dragon. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So for the main deck monsters, we are running 3 Rokket Tracer. I would definitely say this is one of the best Rokket monsters in the whole deck. With a quick effect, you can target one face-up card you control, destroy it, and if you do, special summon 1 Rokket monster from your deck except for Rokket Tracer. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of the turn from the extra deck except for Dark Monsters. You can only use this effect of Rokket Tracer once per turn. So you have the option to even just destroy this card and then special summon that other Rokket monster on the field, giving you access to all the many different Rokket monsters in the deck, and for the fact that Rokket Tracer is a tuner monster, making it all the easier to summon out cards like Borreload Savage Dragon onto the field also. For another one of the 3 ofs for the deck, I also run 3 Abso Router Dragon. If you control a Rokket monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon Abso Router Dragon once per turn this way, and if it's sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 Rokket monster from your deck to your hand. And you can only use this effect of Abso Router Dragon once per turn. So you have some pretty good other options for searching for your Rokket cards from your deck to your hand, with one of the newest ones being Rokket Caliber, a card that can just be special summoned out of the field, also being another tuner to a zone a Dark Link monster points to. So being able to just have your Rokket Tracer special summon out Abso Router, and then go for the Link 2, and then search out your Rokket Caliber, and then just building up the Link play from there using these cards. With the last of the 3 ofs for the Rokket deck, I also run 3 Noctovision Dragon. When your opponent activates a card effect that targets a face-down card you control, quick effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard, negate the activation, and if you do, you can only use each of the following effects of Noctovision Dragon once per turn. If a Dark Dragon monster is special summoned to your field except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if this card is sent from the graveyard to the graveyard as link material, you draw 1 card. It really does help for more of the link plays to have hand consistency with this card, being used for the investment of your link summons, but also being able to be easily special summoned out on the field with all the different dark dragon monsters we run in the deck, including Boral and Dragon. You have all the plays available to you with this card to use. For some of the lower numbers for the Rokket monsters, I also run 2 Magno Rokket Dragon. A good number of the Rokket monsters also share card effects. If it is targeted when a Link monster's effect is activated that targets his face-up card, you can destroy this card, then send 1 monster on the field to the graveyard. The target option is for the good majority of the Rokket monsters, but being able to just send a card on the field to the graveyard for that monster can get around cards that can't be destroyed by card effects or battle using Magno Rokket Dragon. And at the end of the turn, this card was destroyed by a card effect or by battle, you can special summon 1 Rokket monster aside from Magno Rokket Dragon. All good majority of the lower number Rokket monsters we run in the deck share this card effect. So with it, you want to run a good number of variety for all of these cards to use in the deck also. And we're also running 2 Rokket Caliber. I thought of running 3 in this card in the deck, but decided just to stick to 2. If you were to run a 3rd copy, you could take out one of the other 1-ofs for the Rokket monsters that I run in the deck for this spot. But with Rokket Caliber, you can special summon this card from your hand to a zone a Dark Link monster points to. You can only special summon Rokket Caliber once per turn this way, and you contribute this card to special summon 1 Dark Dragon or Machine monster from your hand except for Rokket Caliber, giving you more of a special summon option on the field for other monsters to use to point to your other Link monsters. I also run 2 Auto Rokket Dragon. This is just like Magna Rokket Dragon, just with spell or traps, being able to then send 1 spell or trap on the field to the graveyard, getting around once again destroy effects, which is really great, and having the same special summon option just aside from special summoning Auto Rokket Dragon using this card. And also for some of the 1-ofs that I run for the Rokket monsters, I run 1 Metal Rokket Dragon. This card works more with getting rid of cards in the same column and then having these same special summon options. Shell Rokket for destroying adjacent cards from it. And also 1 Silver Rokket Dragon. When a Link monster effect is activated that targets this face-up card on the field, you can also destroy this card and then look at your opponent's extra deck and banish 1 card from it, and then having the same special summon options from there. And 1 Anise Rokket. This one stops traps more of the card effects on the field and prevents that monster from attacking. And also 1 Rokket Recharger for the plays if a dark monster you control with special summon from the extra deck is destroyed by battle or a card effect. You can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard to target one of those destroyed monsters and special summon it back onto the field, being more of a recycle card for some of the bigger link monsters we run in the deck. And then for a few other one-ofs for the deck, a lot of them are searchable. That's why I decided to run one-ofs in the deck, and a lot of them will be set up and special summon thanks to cards like your Boot Sector launch on the field as well. But for the rest of the one-ofs for the dragons, I also run the 1 Rokket Synchron and also the 1 Double Disruptor Dragon. You contribute this card to target 2 Rokket monsters in your graveyard with different names, but it's mostly used for the fact that when it's sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 Rapid Trigger or Heavy Interlock from your deck or graveyard to your hand. The Rapid Trigger and the Heavy Interlock being the options for your Ritual and your Fusion plays in the deck to summon out your different monsters, including your Borreload Riot Dragon, and from the extra deck, the Borreload Furious Dragon. For more generic dragon support, I also run the 1 Wyver Buster and the 1 Collapse Serpent. More special summon options with both these cards when they're set up in the graveyard to be then banished for one another, especially with the light monster usage for Collapse Serpent. And I also run the 1 Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, still running 1 of this card. If you were to run 3 of the Rokket caliber, you can always take out Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon for a 3rd copy of this card. And lastly, the 1 Borreload Riot Dragon. You can ritual summon this card with Heavy Interlock, and when your opponent special summons a monster by a quick effect, you can negate the special summon, and if you do, destroy that monster. Then destroy this card or 1 Rokket monster you control. And if this card's in your graveyard, you can target 1 Borrel or Rokket monster in your graveyard, destroy 1 card you control in your hand, if you add that target to your hand for more recycle power, but still an option to destroy your Rokket cards on the field using this ritual monster. And that is it for the main deck monsters. We'll now move on to the spells. I run 3 Quick Launch. Once again, running lower numbers for the Rokket monsters. Doesn't really matter because of this card. You special summon 1 Rokket monster from your deck, but it cannot attack. Also destroy it during the end phase. This is not a once per turn card, so if you own multiples of Quick Launch, you can activate all of them to special summon your many different Rockets onto the field. And once again, they can either be used as link material or just destroyed at the end of the turn to then activate their own effects to special summon additional monsters on the field. But most of the time, you will want to use them for the link summon plays. I also run 3 World Legacy Guard Dragon. When this card is activated, you can target 1 level 4 or lower dragon monster in your graveyard, add to your hand, or special summon it. And once per turn, you can target 1 dragon monster you control, move that monster to another zone in your main monster zone. So pretty useful to move around some of the Borrel monsters that have link arrows if you need to adjust the link arrows on the field to be co-linked with another monster. And for some of the other lower number spells, I run the 1 Rapid Trigger and the 1 Heavy Interlock. The Rapid Trigger destroys monsters to fusion summon, so that's always a plus there for your Rokket monsters. And Heavy Interlock, also use it to ritual summon Borreload Riot Dragon, but you can also then tribute from your hand or field and or destroy those Rokket monsters from your hand or face them on the field, giving you the activation of those Rokket monsters' destruction effects with your Heavy Interlock. And also the 1 Squib Draw for more draw power by destroying a Rokket monster you control to draw 2 cards. You'll get draw power with this card, but also utilize the destruction of your Rokket monsters. And I also run the 1 Boot Sector launch. You really only need 1 of this card because it's searchable with Link 1 monsters like Striker Dragon. And also the Borrow Regenerator is an equip spell that targets a Rokket monster in graveyard and special summons it and equip it with this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. And if this card is sent to the graveyard because the equipped monster was destroyed, you can draw 1 card, giving you more of a draw power option with this card on the field altogether. And for the rest of the main deck and the rest of the spells, I run 1 Dragon Shrine and 1 Dragon Ravine. If you didn't want to run Dragon Ravine, you can always put Foolish Barrow in as another spot in this deck, but they both set up dragons in the graveyard for you to then use with cards like Boot Sector Launch. And lastly, the 1 Monster Reborn, along with the Borrow Regenerator and the World Legacy Guard Dragon. You have plenty of ways to special summon dragons back onto the field for you to use. And that is it for the main deck. We'll now move on to the extra deck. Our main go-to boss monster in the deck is Borrel and Dragon, a Link 5 monster. You need 3 or more effect monsters. It cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects. Also, neither player can target this card with monster effects, and you can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each with this card. And also, quick effect, you can target 1 effect monster on the field. If you do special summon that monster, but negate its effects while it's in the graveyard, being able to target 1 effects monster field and 1 on the graveyard. and then negate that effect, and then to special summon that other monster from your graveyard. Your opponent can activate card or effects in response to this effect's activation. You can only use this effect of Borderland Dragon once per turn, so the target on the field will destroy the rocket monster you potentially targeted, giving you that other monster back on the field to use, but also destroying your Boral monster, making it so you can activate that effect as well as that other special summon, making up for that card. And the fact that Borderland Dragon can't be destroyed by battle or card effects is just all the easier to use. And I also run one Boral Load Dragon, one Boral Guard Dragon, and one Boral Sword Dragon for all the additional options. Boral Load being able to take your opponent's monsters, Boral Guard acting as more of a defense play, and also Boral Sword being more of the finisher against your opponent with its power to attack twice in one battle phase. Boral End is definitely scary with being able to attack each monster, but you can rely on all of these different Boral monsters for the additional plays to use against your opponent, depending on which one you want to summon. And for other monsters in the extra deck, I run the one Boral Code Dragon, one of the newer monsters from the Burst of Destiny set, needing your 2 or more effect monsters to make it. It cannot be destroyed by card effects, while a Link monster points to it. Also, you can only use each of the following effects of Boral Code Dragon once per turn. At the start of the damage step, if this card was Link summoned, using 3 monsters as material battles an opponent's monster, you can destroy all monsters on the field, making more of a destruction play while also being able to destroy your other rocket monsters on the field also. I also run the one Striker Dragon, being able to set up your Boot Sector launch and be potential destruction material for cards like your Rocket Tracer on the field. And I also run the one Quad Boral Dragon. If you can discard one card, then target one face-up monster on the field. You cannot special summon Link 2 or lower monsters from the extra deck for the rest of this turn. After that, destroy that targeted monster. And if this card was Link summoned, you can special summon any number of rocket monsters with different names from your hand or graveyard up to its Link rating, giving you more special summons on the field for that Link monster destruction. I also run the one Heretic Seal of Heavenly Spheres for more dragon plays, one Trisbana for banishing options on the field, Triple Burst for another Link 3 dragon monster to summon out and utilize to make Boral End Dragon, and also the one Saryuja for the option of summoning out this card to then get more draw power, is why I like running it over cards like Topologic Bomber Dragon. And then as for the additional monsters in the extra deck, I also run the one Boral Load Savage Dragon for the Rocket Tracer and other level 4 Link monster option, the one Black Rose Dragon for the destruction on the field again, and also with cards like Rocket Synchron and then also your Abso Router Dragon. You can make this card quite easily in the deck as well. And for the additional monsters in the extra deck, I also run the one Boral Load Furious Dragon and the one Boral Load X-Charge Dragon to have the additional Boral monsters in the deck, because like I said, this is the pure rocket build I wanted to go for. Summoning out the Boral Load Furious Dragon with your Rapid Trigger, and then using the X-Charge with 2 of your level 4 dragons, being able to then use those cards to detach one from this card to target a face-up monster on the field. It loses 600 attack and defense. Then you can special summon a Boral monster from your graveyard. Being that close to use that Boral monster, especially if it's ones like your Boral Code Dragon, with this card and needing one more additional monster on the field to summon out your Link 5 monster, Boral End Dragon, since this card does need 3 effect monsters. So you want to be able just to summon out one of the Link 4 Boral monsters and use that in X-Charge to summon it. As for some of the other go-to plays in the deck, relying on Abso Router and Rocket Tracer, you can summon out both of these cards with that special summon, and then use Rocket Tracer to destroy Abso Router to special summon out another rocket monster on the field from the deck, activating your Abso Router then, since it was sent to the graveyard. You can then add your Rocket Caliber from your deck to your hand, giving you that special summon, going for the additional summon, using your rocket monster to summon out your Striker Dragon onto the field. Being the Link 1 monster, you can then use it to add your Boot Sector launch from your deck to your hand, activating the Boot Sector launch, having the 3 monsters on the field, and having the 1 rocket monster already in the graveyard. You can then go for the Quad Boral Dragon monster when this card is summoned out. Just remember, you'll have to use the additional Link 2 play using your 2 monsters on the field, since your Striker Dragon will be in the extra monster zone for that summon. So then you will summon out your Link 2 monster with your Quad Boral Dragon there, destroying your other monster on the field for that option, or being able to even special summon off of the Rocket Caliber for the additional special summon. If you destroyed a Link monster in your opponent's field, you can gain the additional special summon of your other rocket monsters back on the field from the graveyard if you use them for that play, destroying your opponent's Link 2 monster, summoning both of them back onto the field, and then going for the Link 5 play of Boral End Dragon. If you don't go for the destruction of those cards and you have the Quad Boral on the field along with the Auto Rocket Dragon, you can also use the play to target your other rocket monster, sending it to the graveyard to activate that card effect, or you can just use the boot sector to launch the special summon those remaining rockets back onto the field if the difference in monsters for your opponent on the field compared to yours was less than the 2 you already had. Still going for the 1 Borderland play on the field. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I'll definitely be doing more decks from the Ghosts from the Past set, so look forward to it. Rockets were one of my favorite to work on, and I'll have plenty of others with all the new support we received. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.